Hey, in this video I'm going to showcase the Indianapolis Advertising Show that just happened March 16th. Let's dive right in, show you the show and show you the cool stuff I found. So right off the gate, the show looks big, full of dealers, a fair amount of people in there. We got in there maybe a few minutes after the doors opened, took a while to park. First booth, found some non-advertising stuff, and that's one of the things I'm looking for. I'm really looking for non-advertising stuff, because that's how these shows work. Some dealers bring a few extra things, and sometimes those things can be really reasonably priced. I've set up at bottle shows before and sold more non-bottles than bottles, and I've actually shopped bottle shows before and bought a bunch of stuff and everything but bottles. So that's what I like to do with these specialty shows. It's really hard sometimes to buy the objects that are the focus of the specialty show. That being said, if a dealer has really good stuff, sometimes the cheapest stuff they have will be well worth buying. Here with the world famous John Jenkins, promoter of the Nashville show. What are you doing here, John?
I'm shopping.
You're shopping?
Yes.
Yeah. This is your hometown, I believe, correct?
Yes. This is where my laundry stays.
This is where your laundry stays. Yeah. You find anything yet?
Nope. I literally just walked in and saw you and decided I want to be on film.
Awesome. So again, I'm looking for non-advertising stuff, but I'm also looking for wood signs. I'm really big on wood signs. Years ago, I started dealing in advertising signs, probably in earnest, hardcore, early 2000s. I was buying and selling advertising signs at flea markets in southern Delaware. And then when I had my first shop, I bought a lot of advertising stuff. But I sort of got out of it as prices just escalated too much. And I gravitated away from the metal signs into wood signs probably about 2014. A lot of wood signs to me, a little bit more folk art, a little bit more one of a kind. That being said, I still buy metal advertising signs. I just bought 2 Coke signs about a week ago off of Facebook Marketplace and in a local antique shop to where we were at. We were about a 2-hour drive to this antique show, this antique advertising show. So not a bad drive, maybe an hour and 50 minutes. We are staying in Western Ohio, and this was obviously in Indianapolis, so about a 2-hour drive. Show was loaded with good stuff, though. It was really neat to see everything. I try to showcase some of the prices in this video as I zoom in on some of the items. Some of the items you can't see the prices. A lot of coin-op stuff. I do love coin-op stuff. I've dealt a lot of that in the past as well. Check this out. And that's wasn't certain some of these have been reproed, so I shied away from it. If that's right, that's probably a decent deal. But yes, decent crowd. Smaller crowd probably than I would have thought. I don't know how the dealers did. A lot of them were really excited to buy stuff. Check this out. Sports stuff. I'm always looking for sports stuff for myself. Did not buy those though. Really cool things at this show.
There's a fire in my bones. Fire. There's a fire in my bones. I came up from Chattahoochee with my Bible in my hand. Hip flask full of whiskey, my blood hot as burning sand. People say I'm crazy, but I don't care what they say. It's the same ones I feel bad for every minute of the day. Fire! There's a fire in my bones. Fire! There's a fire in my bones. Tonight I'm gonna love you like a man out on parole, a sailor in the city and escapee from death row. I'll be coming for you, baby, 'cause I just can't keep away.
It's the same ones I feel bad for every minute of the day.
I ain't looking for trouble, but I find it all the time. I love the good Lord Jesus, but they're sinning on my mind.
So one of my more exciting buys came out of this showcase. This guy was primarily a paper dealer. A lot of Coke stuff. Of course, I just bought a couple Coke signs, but a lot of Coke stuff. Again, a decent amount of, like, here you can see a dealer with some just straight up antique stuff, a hooked rug. And look at those, some winter snowshoes. A lot of fun, actually non-advertising stuff at the show. Again, I am looking for that stuff. Peter's shoes, that's a cool sign. I don't know necessarily some of the retail values of a lot of these metal advertising signs without looking up comps myself. I don't know them off the top of my head anymore like I used to. Of course, the ones I used to know, they've all gone way up since then. But a lot of fun signs here. A lot of cool things. Again, look at that. That's just, it's, a lot of the dealers put a little bit of time into their setup for sure, which was nice to see. Again, I used to deal with a lot of coin op stuff. Hard to ship some of these things. I don't buy them as much anymore. That's a really cool thing. Did find some early glass in this booth. Nothing I could live without. And they also had some really cool local Indianapolis or Indiana mini jugs, which is nice to see. This is a buddy of mine who I follow on Instagram. I love this cat chair table. I almost bought that, but a little bit too much money for me right now. Be nice or leave. Yep. Yeah, here we go. A lot of good stuff. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff to look at. Partial Oil Company sign. Again, I was looking for less wood signs than I was hoping to see. This was cool, but not something you could sell. That was like a Grand Army of the Republic thing. One of those signs that looks differently depending on what side you're on. This was really cool. This like medical poster thing. Some light up signs. And lo and behold, they actually had something, I did not price it, but look at that, Dover, Delaware. My old stomping grounds was Delaware. I was a little bit further south of Dover. I don't know what the best price of that would have been. I probably could have sold it to somebody back home if I wanted to haul that back home. This guy I also follow on Instagram, Chris Hall Antiques. He's got some good stuff. Check that out. He had a really nice looking booth. Nothing I couldn't live without, but a really good looking booth for sure. I think he was running around buying stuff when I filmed his booth. Here we go, Ohio's Lake Erie. This was too much money for me, but I don't know what those things are retail for, but I am out living in Ohio right at this moment. A lot of Coke stuff, not to be expected though. Some Mego figures, I buy those. I've bought some of those at yard sales. I started my business selling years ago in college, selling comics and baseball cards, and action figures. So I know the action figure market fairly well still. And I do pick those up from time to time. The neon signs are pretty incredible. Big neon signs. Yep. Show is big enough to have representation of AGS, and from Pennsylvania Auction House, Morphe's was there too as well with their catalogs and whatnot. But yeah, the show was big enough that it had some national companies represented, which was cool to see, as well as like I said, some of the better antique advertising dealers in the country were set up here. This guy actually shared something on Facebook. I'm Facebook friends with him, and I found out, I didn't even realize the show was happening until like 4 days beforehand, and he posted something on Facebook about it. Primarily a pottery dealer. That's a really cool crock, but I did not buy that. I did buy some stuff from him.
Down in the mines beneath the ocean, his hand would take more than we all could leave. Then family starved, they fall outside his blessing.
were some wood signs here.
Dancing at the end of a long black ribbon. Dancing at the end of a long black ribbon.
Dancing at the end of a long black ribbon. Dancing at the end of a
There was also carnival stuff. I love carnival stuff. None of which I couldn't live without, but definitely a pretty wide variety of stuff for an advertising show for sure.
long black ribbon. Dancing at the end of a long black ribbon. Dancing at the end of a long black ribbon. Dancing at the end of a long black ribbon.
Look like a genius. First booth I go in. Bought these two forms. Have some decent age to them. Originally $35. Well, originally $2.50. Then the dealer was asking $35, but they were only $12 at the show. 12 each at the show. Same dealer had this stickered also at $12. I got all three for $30. This is actually a little bigger than you might think. Not a great photograph, but love the accordion. It's actually a very clear photograph. She almost looks native, I'm not sure. Pretty cool. First booth, I look like a genius for going to the advertising show and buying non-advertising. So yeah, the guy must have been really proud of his accordion, or maybe he was a really good accordion player. Like I said, not like a great photo, not like a $100 photo, I don't think, but I think I should make money on it at $10. And these, just to be clear, they were originally $2.50 way back when the artist made them, but the dealer was selling them for $35 at some point, but they had them marked down to $12 a piece. I'm probably the only person who walked through that show who would actually care about these, but I think these would do well at Brimfield or on my Etsy or Instagram pages. I don't know, kind of funky and weird. Cool things. But again, how many people walk through an advertising show looking for something like that? Meanwhile, while I'm paying for that, Emily's in the booth across the aisle and she finds this really cool crusty game board. Gotta love the surface on that one. Chinese checkers board. I made a video about Chinese checkers board. They're mostly 1920 or so or later. It's not super early or anything, but man, just look at that surface. Nice surface. Might clean a little bit. I might dab it with a damp paper towel or something. Try to get some of the grime off there so that some of the colors will pop a little better. But that's a fun game board, and that's a really fun game board to find at an advertising show. Finally, piece of advertising. Dartboard. It's wrapped in cellophane, so it's reflecting some of the light. Coke dartboard. They are wood. These aren't terribly valuable, but they have a nice look to them. Ended up costing me 20 bucks, so not bad. Next I found a sign. It has been split in half, unfortunately, but it's a nice early sign for sale. Wood, good surface. Not a bad price, but probably too much money with the split repair. But you gotta buy a wood sign when you go to an advertising show. Another photograph, and I don't know, this one's kind of big, as you can see. This guy had a lot of photographs. I wanted to buy the load, but he didn't really have a load-friendly price for them all. I think actually if you added up the sticker prices, his group price wasn't much discounted or discounted at all. And a few of the prices seemed way more than I wanted to pay. But still, I probably should have put together a bigger grouping of them, but it didn't seem like he wanted to do any kind of discounting at all. So I bought this lone one. I almost bought a men's basketball or boys basketball from the same time period. I don't know, this one seemed like the better deal. Some people in the building in the background. Don't see too many girls basketball from this era. Kind of neat. Did find some on eBay from this era for like $75. I don't need to sell mine for that much to make money, so we'll see. Pretty cool thing though. I've gone to bottle shows and not bought any bottles. I went to an advertising show and I buy some bottles and glass. I guess first we'll dive into this. Paperweight, Lake Winnipesaukee, New Hampshire, kind of cool. My family are watermen on the Eastern Shore. They've actually worked in catching oysters over the years, so oyster whiskey nip. And I used to collect colored Hutchinsons. They get expensive. This is one of the more common ones from Detroit. $90, but I think has a little bit of money left into it. A little bit of rough condition. Rolled around somewhere in the water. Has a lot of ick from being buried, but yeah, I don't know. Blue colored Hutchinson, can't go wrong. So yeah, that's my glass buy from the advertising show. And a final photograph. Yes, I went to an advertising show and I bought 3 photographs. There were actually a lot of photographs there, a lot related to horses and motorcycles. I don't really know the values of those. The card has a lot of damage. Unfortunately, the photo has a little damage. Normally, I don't mind the card being damaged. The photo being damaged bothers me a little bit. Really cool though. It's actually, as you can see, Coca-Cola, Taylor's Hotel and Restaurant, Sailor's Hotel and Restaurant. Help if I could read and talk at the same time. Ice cream cones. It's actually for a, they got a ticket office. It's a train station too. So I'm gonna try to figure out exactly where that's from, but pretty cool piece. So yeah, I buy some photographs now, but I didn't used to. For the longest time, I didn't really deal with photographs, but when I was young, starting out as collecting, I would buy old sports photographs like team photos and stuff from the early 1900s. Especially I was living in York County, Pennsylvania then, so I'd buy some local ones from there. But I started out buying them a long time ago, and then I drifted away, but I guess I'm back buying them again. Almost forgot about this, but I did buy this. It's a wrought iron, pretty early sign holder. As you can see, it would mount to the wall here. Sign would hang from here, but got this from the guy who's the pottery dealer who I mentioned, posted something on Facebook about it and how I found out about the show. So I don't know what I would do with this. I might just have to hold on to it until I find a proper sign to hang from it, or I'm sure one of my New England dealer friends would love to have this for some early wood sign. And there's the kitty cat. Okay, so in that one booth of paper I said I bought 2 things. We actually bought both of these. Emily was sort of the reason, she's definitely the reason I went back and bought the second one. We both liked the first one, and then we did a little bit more research and decided to buy them both. Let's talk about them. Okay, so this is the first one we bought. It was only stickered at $75. I don't know if you can see it. They're stitched together. This was so well loved, and the big kicker, printed by Ben Franklin. Founding father Ben Franklin. The other one is a Pennsylvania shilling, 50 shilling note, signed by 3 people, printed by Hall and Sellers, who actually were partners, I think, with Ben Franklin on a printing press at one time as well.
Yeah, so what I love most about this piece is that not only is it stitched together, as you can see there, but it was folded. So you can see the fold lines. So someone carried this and they had it folded in their pocket or something. And it so much so that it tore, and then they stitched it together. Because like no one was throwing this away, right? So yeah. I love that to pieces. Even though the condition is not the best, and I know a lot of people will cry about like not having things in mint condition, but
the make do repair though.
The make do repair, and this tells me more of a story than something with mint condition.
This one we might sell. It's cleaner.
It's definitely cleaner. This
costs
is definitely
us more.
Definitely more of mint condition. But what I want to point out, I don't know that you can see this, but these stains here, you know, whatever they are, someone's fingerprint is in that one.
Yeah, so that's pretty neat.
It's kind of cool. It's like, is it blood? Is it not? But Hall specifically was an apprentice, I believe, to Ben Franklin. So that makes that really cool. So he learned how to do this from the master, essentially. So yeah, that was our trip to the Indy Advertising Show. Bought a lot of stuff, very little of it actually advertising. A lot of paper, I don't know, photos. Pretty cool day. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So you've been to, that's your first advertising show. It was. There was a bunch of them across the country, and I've been to Hershey and stuff before, but this was pretty fun. And I loved it. You love specialty shows like this, right? I do. You've enjoyed bottle shows in the past. I have, and I like this one. They were playing like 20s, like flapper music in the background. I'm like, take my money. We always buy a lot of fun stuff. Not related to the actual premise of the show. And the best part is we have fun doing it. We had fun doing it, yeah. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit like and subscribe to follow our nomadic journeys to go across the country, visiting all kinds of antique shops, antique shows, and antique places.
Peace.